In our newsroom, the phones ring a lot. On April 1st, Katrina Bell, a single mother, was on the other end, and she was desperate.
Did you pray
I did.
that someone would listen?
Yes.
What'd you think when I called you right away?
After we got off the phone, I cried.
Katrina had been driving hard for years to take care of her two boys.
I'm a single mom. No child support, no extra help.
She worked lots of jobs, including Uber. She was good at that.
What was your rating?
It was a 4.98
Out of?
out of 5.
Then COVID-19 hit.
Everything pretty much shut down.
Katrina's income was gone.
Bills don't stop coming.
You filed for unemployment.
I did.
In March, Ohio Job and Family Services, JFS, told Katrina she qualified for pandemic unemployment assistance, aid that Congress approved to provide people like Katrina with cash to make it through COVID-19. $600 a week to keep her family fed.
And did you expect to get paid fairly quickly?
I did.
But the payments never arrived. Katrina called JFS a lot.
Oh, yes.
Every day?
Every day. Yes.
And they would tell you what?
That everything was a process.
That process had already taken months, and it was about to turn surreal.
They said, we've been back paying you since June. I said, you haven't been paying me.
Thieves had stolen Katrina's identity. In December, Ohio JFS uncovered at least $330 million in fraudulent pandemic unemployment payments. The U.S. Department of Labor's Inspector General estimates fraud and error already add up to $63 billion nationwide. Katrina was a victim, and she calculated she was owed a lot of money.
It's over $20,000.
But instead of paying Katrina what the thieves took from her, JFS froze her account
I feel stuck.
and gave her no promise of ever getting her money.
I just cry. It's emotional.
What do you want me to do?
Help be my voice.
That's exactly what I did. Now I was the one on the phone,
It's Dwayne Pullman.
calling JFS and sending nearly a dozen emails. I even sent Katrina's claim numbers. I was assured they would be passed along right away. Just 3 weeks later,
We got the money.
$16,437 deposited directly into Katrina's bank account, less than she calculated. Katrina still owed $1,800, but it beats the funds she had before that deposit came through.
$26.11, all you had.
2611.
Katrina recorded the moment when she shared the big news with her sons.
I'm really happy.
I honestly can't believe that it worked out the way it did.
Katrina's now driven to catch up on a year's worth of bills and says she's ready for a new journey. Thanks to the call
From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
that solved it all.
You're a God sent, you're heaven sent.
Dwayne Pullman, Local 12 News. From repeated punches in Pike County
I will say it was disturbing.
to pepper spraying prisoners in Dayton
I can't breathe, help me.
to the death of an inmate at the Hamilton County Justice Center. Allegations of abuse and brutality involving the restraint chair, a device that immobilizes inmates at jails across Ohio and around the country, have horrified and stunned families who learned their loved ones were restrained in a chair.
Why would they do that to him?
Hamilton County's new sheriff is asking questions too.
You have concerns about it.
Well, of course.
Charmaine McGuffey, a 33-year veteran, was in charge of the Hamilton County Justice Center for 4 years. In 2017, she says she lost her job after complaining about excessive use of force inside the jail.
When I was the major, I brought those concerns to the table. I was very serious about it, and it's no secret that I was fired.
McGuffey filed this federal lawsuit in 2018, claiming sex discrimination, retaliation, and wrongful discharge. The county strongly disagreed with all the allegations, stating McGuffey's dismissal was justified. In December, the case was settled, and the county paid McGuffey $215,000.
There's a new sheriff in town.
McGuffey's victory was historic. Winning on a platform of reforming the jail, Charmaine McGuffey was sworn in on January 4th as Ohio's first female and openly LGBTQ sheriff in Ohio. At her new desk, Sheriff McGuffey says she's going to keep her promise of reform, including how and when the restraint chair is used.
It's been a focus of our attention because we are reviewing reports.
I've been reviewing reports too. After filing an open records request in December, I received this, a detailed printout of every time the restraint chair has been used at the jail. After sorting and calculating, I found in 5 years, from 2016 to 2021, inmates at the Hamilton County Justice Center were strapped into the restraint chair 3,221 times. That's an average of almost twice a day, every day. I showed Sheriff McGuffey what I discovered.
Can you, as the sheriff, say that every time it was used the way it was supposed to be used?
Well, I certainly can't comment on any of the instances that I don't have any specific knowledge of.
The sheriff wouldn't comment on lawsuits involving the restraint chair either, including this wrongful death suit filed in federal court by the family of Pierre Howell, a 33-year-old Cincinnati man who was discovered dead in a restraint chair he had been strapped in for 4 hours. In our interview, the sheriff would only say the policy for using the restraint chair will change.
We should be able to recraft that policy.
So rein it in a little bit.
Well, we're going to change it a little bit.
Amnesty International, a group that fights for human rights around the world, says tweaking a policy doesn't go far enough.
There's other means in which they can achieve the same law enforcement objective that don't amount to cruel and inhuman degrading treatment or torture or even death.
So you're calling for a ban?
Exactly.
But banning these chairs isn't likely, even for a newly elected sheriff who promises to reform the rules but not eliminate the use of the restraint chair.
There's all kinds of restraints, obviously, in the jail system. I mean, it's what we use.
Dwayne Pullman, Local 12 News. Criminals and guns are a very real and very deadly combination. According to a U.S. Justice Department survey of inmates, more than half admit the guns they used in crimes were stolen or bought illegally. Many of the guns are grabbed during dramatic thefts. In June of 2019, thieves rammed an SUV through a gun store in Rockville, Maryland, scooping up weapons before fleeing. In September of 2019, thieves crashed into a gun store in Westerville, Ohio, near Columbus, making off with a load of guns. But the Justice Department says most criminal weapons are simply stolen from people's homes and cars. And until this year, gun stores across Ohio had no way to check if weapons being sold to them were stolen.
Here at the store, we don't.
Yeah,
In the cruiser,
you didn't.
we didn't.
Eric Delbert, owner of LEPD Firearms and Range in Columbus, is also a police officer. So, he took aim at stopping the flow of stolen guns.
It's especially repugnant to you.
Absolutely. It is furthering the trade. It's furthering the criminal element.
Delbert took the problem straight to Ohio's Attorney General Dave Yost, who not only listened, he acted.
What we're actually doing is empowering the people.
The AG is doing that by launching this, the Ohio Stolen Guns Database, a website where dealers and anyone else can check anonymously if a weapon's been reported as stolen before they buy. All you need is the gun's serial number.
Serial number?
Right, yep.
And
Hit the search.
within seconds, you know whether a weapon was stolen.
That is so easy.
It is extremely easy.
Why did you feel this was a priority?
They make our cops and our neighborhoods, our communities less safe. Everything we can do to push information out, empower the people to help control and reduce the flow of stolen weapons onto the street is a good step.
But that step stops short of making stolen gun checks mandatory.
Why not mandate the check?
That's a question for the legislature, not the Attorney General.
Strong gun support and heavy gun lobbying at the Ohio State House means a new Ohio law mandating checks for stolen guns is unlikely. So it'll be up to gun stores and owners to run these checks. Still, the AG says those searches can make a dent in the stolen gun market, which could have a big impact out here.
How many robberies don't occur with a gun then? How many people aren't raped or mugged at gunpoint? How many murders don't happen?
I'm Dwayne Pullman, Local 12 News.